Hi everybody, it's just Flat Cap Cafe Racer here. Occasionally I get asked more than once, what kind of modifications have I made to my bike to get it to go from the stock 130-ish miles an hour to where we just got through at Bonneville this time at 151.3. I've covered those things in a lot of different places, but I'm going to try to wrap it up on a nice bow and tell you what I think about the modifications. So stay tuned.
Meerkat.
Now, I've taken my stock Thruxton R out at the Bonneville Salt Flats in 2016 and ran it with no fairing, no changes to anything, and I ran about 130 and a little bit of change, and it was bouncing off the rev limiter. No gearing changes, nothing. Probably add that to that. I like to add to that is that on my quarter miles, I was probably running ETs in the 12.3-ish, 12.5-ish range on a quarter mile ET and running about 108 to 110 miles an hour. I did a dyno on the bike at stock. It was 85 horsepower. Um, probably That's probably about middle range at the rear wheel for a Thruxton R. Change I made to the bike was in January 2018. I was experimenting with some X pipes. I had put a free Spirit X pipe on. Then I got a Meerkat X pipe, and the Meerkat showed me slightly better results on the dyno, and better results at the quarter mile speed. Just before I went out to Bonneville Salt Flats in 2019, I talked to the Meerkat and Peter at Meerkat and got a nice set of slip-ons right in July of 2019 that are still on the bike today. I did notice some difference in performance with the Meerkat slip-ons at the higher speeds at Bonneville, but I had some other limitations I wasn't aware of at the time. So we did pick up some 2 or 3 miles an hour top speed, but we had some other limitations there that had nothing to do with the exhaust system. So in January of 2020, I purchased a Tech Bike 303 cam from George and his crew out in the UK. Well, while I was breaking in the bike with a Tech Bike cam in it, I had the Power Commander 5 on it, and I had the Power Commander 5 tuned on the dyno before that. I got the cam, but I knew that I had a restriction on the throttle bodies closing, so I needed something to fix that. In February 2020, I was on the Rat Forum, and this person called Diva Danielle was doing some tuning on the Thruxtons and other Bonnevilles, and she had a tune that could supposedly fix my throttle bodies closing and adjust the air fuel mixtures and the ignition timing. And really, it sounded like something that I could really use to go forward, because I knew no matter how much horsepower I got, throttle bodies were closing at to about 70-something% at 6500 RPM. So it was always going to be a stop there. So I contacted Diva Danielle on the DNKtunes, and she provided me one tune. Then a couple updates later, in a couple weeks, I have the third tune I've been running in the bike since end of February of 2020. So after the snow melted, and we finally I got the DNKtune, I've got the cam broken in, I got the valves checked again. Finally got out to the drag strip, and holy cow, this thing was fast. Very quick. You know, right off the bat, I was in the high 11s. Then I finally got into like 11.6, and I think I'm going to get a little quicker than that when I go out there this October. But I couldn't dyno the bike until probably 4, 5, 6 months ago. I got a dyno, then I saw that with all the changes I've made that I've outlined here, I went from 85 horsepower to 101 horsepower. That's pretty significant, and I gained some torque, and I gained it over the whole range of RPM, so very happy with that. Here's my wrap up on all the modifications and how they allowed me to go from 130 miles an hour to 151 miles an hour at 7,000 feet, for goodness sakes. The fairing and the gearing allowed me to go faster if I had the right amount of horsepower. The cam and the exhaust system helped give me that horsepower. But the key that unlocked the door to use that horsepower in a more efficient way was the DNKtune. I would have had have a heck of a lot more horsepower to get the 151 miles an hour if I did not have the DNKtune. My throttle bodies would be closed and still at 6,500 RPM. So I think all of them combined really helped me get to this higher speed. And like I said, that if you equate that to sea level, that's 165 miles an hour. So I'm very happy with those modifications. I would have liked to had a couple more tunes to play with out there because there's such difference in the afternoon and morning runs. And but considering what I had and the way the density altitude varies so much, with just one tune, I think it did a really good job for me. So very pleased with that. Does it work? The DNKtune absolutely works. Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.